Good morning. My name is Amy Mendocino and I'm from the Mission Board at North Hills Community Baptist Church. I'm here to share a reflection about the America for Christ offering for 2026. This year's theme is the wisdom and power of storytelling. Based on scripture from Matthew 13, in verses 34 and 35, we get an explanation of why Jesus used parables. What is a parable? In a nutshell, it's a story that Jesus used to demonstrate a point. Today, we call it storytelling. Stories are common. Stories share wisdom. They can be comforting, humorous, or uplifting. They invite listeners into a momentary imagined space where environment, human beings, activity, and purpose all come together. The act of listening is itself a process of making things understandable. Stories do more than expand knowledge or give instruction. They invite the listener to place value in the story details and the story takeaways, instilling a desire to tell the story again and again, now through a voice that is their own. If the story is personal to the one telling it, we call that a testimony. The Bible is filled with stories from ancient times. They are written in a way that allow us to use them as a guide for our spiritual walk through our life. These stories should affect the way we, as Christians, live our lives day to day. In Matthew's Gospel, Jesus carries the tradition of storytelling to remind people who God is, what God has done, and why God remains trustworthy. But what happens if this practice dies? What if today the tradition of intergenerational stories of God actively moving our community and our lives didn't happen? How would others glean hope, wisdom, and love they may need? Throughout Scripture, one of the most repeated commands is to remember. Remember the God of our ancient ancestors. Remember the God who delivered the Hebrews from slavery. Remember the 10 Commandments. Remembering was very essential, so stories were told in order that future generations would not forget the Lord. Stories anchor us in our faith tradition while also fueling our anticipation of what God might do. Sharing testimonies provides one of the few contexts where intergenerational learning and reciprocity can flourish. In a time when our stories and histories are being rewritten, American Baptists, we must tell the honest stories of God and how He has guided us through the beauty and the messiness of life. Today and always, remember the power. Don't be afraid to share the wisdom and tell stories. That power points people towards Jesus Christ.